I'm Crystal from Snake Racing, and I'm joined by Simon from Tough Dog. Simon, what are we doing today?
Okay, we're going to be fitting a 40mm lift to this current model Hilux today, and basically showing the guys at home how to fit this kit correctly. There's a few little bits and pieces involved in the kit, so let's get stuck into it. First thing we're going to do here before we turn on a spanner is we're actually going to record the measurements of the vehicle whilst it's at standard height. You may have noticed that I was measuring from bottom of rim to guard. The reason why we do that, it's a lot more accurate because it's a straight line. Okay, now that the wheel's off, guys, there's 4 things to undo so we can get that strut out. And that's basically the sway bar D-saddle, the link rod for the sway bar to the actual arm here, the upper ball joint and the tie rod end. So we'll get those undone now. Okay, what we've been doing here, guys, is undoing the upper ball joint. Just being careful that when we do crack this nut, we're not going to undo it all the way. Okay, now that the sway bar is undone from the D-saddle and from the link rod, we've just actually cracked the upper ball joint, and we've also started to undo, and we've actually removed the actual tie rod in here. We're going to go in now and undo the lower bolt here and actually get the strut out of the vehicle. Okay, here we have the Tough Dog strut ready to go into this Hilux. All the hard work's been done by the guys at Tough Dog. By that I mean the actual top spring hat has already been pre-aligned to the bottom eye-ring, so this will actually go straight in nice and easy. Guys, if you're ever using a screwdriver or a bar to come in and lever this coil up so you can get that bottom bolt in, just be super duper careful. The edge of this doesn't impact with the chrome shaft. Cracking that chrome plating will result in a shock absorber that will leak very quickly. Okay, so we're going to go in reversible now and do all these tie rod end back up and all the other parts back up. One of the things we've got to make sure we do is tie this bolt up here when the car's on the floor. Okay guys, before we measured the vehicle, we had 800mm of droop, and now we've got 840mm, which means we've got 40mm more travel than what we had previously. Alright guys, well we've finished the front, we've spun the vehicle around. Now we're going to attack the rear of the car. We're going to take the original springs back out of this vehicle and put the Tough Dog 40mm lifted springs in. Alright guys, we've got the axle support stand underneath here, and the reason for that is we're now going to go in there and undo these U-bolts. Once we undo the U-bolts, obviously the differential will come down, so we've got the stand here to support that from happening. Alright guys, we've got the U-bolts out of this Hilux now, so we're going to separate the leaf spring from the differential. Just be careful that when you guys do that, you don't actually break the brake line here or the ABS line. Alright guys, what we're going to do here is we're just going to nip these nuts up. We're not going to get them too tight just so we don't seize the shackle, and we'll do it up tight when it hits the ground. Alright guys, well the suspension's all in, we're ready to rock and roll. The last thing we're going to do before we drop it off the hoist is take this nut all the way to the very top, and what this does is, this basically controls the rear brake bias. Alright guys, now that we've got the car back on the ground, what we're going to do is do up the shackles nice and tight, now they're in that position, and we'll get in there and do the U-bolts up as well. Okay, we've fitted the 40mm lift to the current model Hilux here. Very last thing we do before we let the car go is retension the U-bolts. They're nice and tight now, but in 1,000 k's time they'll be partially loose again after it all settles in. So it's important we get the car back, retension the U-bolts and do a general check over everything else that we've done today.
Simon, I can see you've finished installing the kit. The next thing we do is put a couple of 100 k's on the car and go and get a wheel alignment. What else do you suggest? Yeah, no, you're definitely right there with the wheel aligning. That has to be done in a couple of 100 k's. We also need to pay special attention to the U-bolts and the rest of the suspension components that we've installed with the car. Do a final check on that and the car's good to go.